Okay, for today, one of my jobs is to help you get ready for the cumulative test now. And one of the things that I don't feel like you guys got taught real well is how to handle a projectile motion question like this. If they ask you for the highest that the ball went, you'd start with x equals negative b over 2a. I gave a little clip that I posted on Schoology on how to do that. And so we'd have an equation for that. Let's say it is negative 4.9 t squared plus 8t plus 1. Then we'd put in negative b over 2a, which is negative 8, over 2 times negative 4.9, which makes negative 9.8. And the negatives cancel, and we get 0.816. That is the time. Then the next question would be, well, how high is it at that moment? If x equals 0.816, I would then go stick that in here and there. All right, talk to the kid next to you. See if you got the same thing as they did. Give me some time. I'm going to stick 0.816 where the t was, multiply it all out, and I just get a number. And it's y equals, which is the height, is, and then, Caitlin, what'd you get?
I got 4.265.
Anybody verify that number? Raise your hand if you can agree. Okay, good. All right. So, what's the only other thing they could ask you for the cumulative test? The third thing they can ask is, if they just give you a time, you have to tell them how high the ball is. Okay? Well, I know at 0.816, the ball is at its max height. But where's the ball at 1/2 of a second? Take a second, use a calculator, figure out where is the ball at 0.5 seconds. Of course, you're using this equation right here. And I told you the time is 0.5. Did you get us the answer that started with a 6? Okay. Hunter, what'd you get?
I got 1.975.
Oh, okay. I think you made a mistake on the negative is my guess, but maybe it's not there, but I'm pretty sure it's more like 6 point something. French, what'd you get?
I didn't finish it yet.
Okay. That's how about go with a volunteer other than the first person I talked to. Somebody volunteer. I could just make you do it. Yes.
6.78.
6.78. Anybody get 6.78? Okay. Well, that's a little scary. So here's what you do. If you haven't already, try typing this in. You just put 0.5 in where the t was. And since we had so many different answers come up, maybe we should just do it again. Isn't t 0.5? I think I got it all right here. I had a totally different answer than the first time I tried it. Okay, who wants to volunteer? They think they have it. Yes.
3.78.
All right, who has 3.7 something? All right, good. Okay, so moral of the story, yeah, I guess these are hard. And even some of the students and myself got the wrong answer the first time I tried it. I should probably write it down. Would you tell me one more time? Can you give it 2 decimal places?
3.78.
7, 8. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, so that's enough review on the problems that have to do with applications. Now, I want to talk over 8 million little things that should just be automatic but weren't. As in, like, people made these mistakes on your tests. So that hopefully when you get them back, you won't have to ask me, like, what should I do on this one? There's a problem like this. Solve it quick. These are meant to just be the little things, not the hardest questions. We'll talk about those tomorrow. Okay, did you know that you're supposed to start with adding 81 to both sides? And then you'd have x squared equals 81. And then some people just jump right to the answer like, oh, cool, the answer's 9, done. No, it's not 9. So you're supposed to square root. You're supposed to get the absolute value right there. Man, there's so many people that didn't have that. And I'm not going to mark it wrong just because you didn't have the absolute value, but if you didn't have the absolute value, you probably forgot that you're not done. Because see, right there, you're not done. You're not done because you need 2 parts, x equals 9 and x equals negative 9. All right. So I guarantee you somebody in this room made that mistake on the test. There was a bunch of little things like that. Here's another one. I'm surprised how many people had trouble with just this. Another simple little multiply. I'm multiplying this up. Well, the first thing is, I was just kind of baffled how many people didn't multiply both parts. You got 2i for that one, and then you got negative 3i squared for that one. And then I was amazed at how many people left the I squared in the answer. If you just did just now, then you probably did it on the test too. What's I squared supposed to be simplified to? Negative 1. And if that's negative 1, then that times that would make positive 3. 3 plus 2i is your good complex number answer. Okay. Next one. Complete the square came on the test twice. So if you didn't know how to complete the square, I think most people like the easy part of complete the square was easy. But what if they're this kind? 10x squared plus 20x plus 10. Why don't you start doing that one? And there's a classic mistake some of you are going to make, and I'll try to help you with that. All right, did you take the 10 out? I'm sure you saw it, and you were like, oh, of course 10 has to come out. But did you take it out of all of them? Because you weren't supposed to. You should not have touched that last 10. If you divided that 10 by, when you were taking out the 10, refactoring out the 10, that would have got you. Half of 2 is 1, 1 squared is 1, plus 1, and then a minus 1 to fix it. And then there's a classic place to make a mistake. Luke, do you remember what has to happen next?
You have to times the negative 1 by 10.
Yes, because this 10 right here is going to scale that one up. It would also have to scale this one up. Okay, good. So that these two will still cancel each other. All right. Oops. What happens if it just gets 0 at the end? You can either put plus 0 or you can just not write anything at the end. That's called complete the square. That was one of the keys. All right. Next one that got a lot of people was they gave you 5 quadratics. They were all written different. And then they said, which of these have no solutions? What do you think we wanted you to do? There's 5 different quadratics. I'm not going to write them all, but there's like one like this. Again, don't want to give too much help here on this video, but so they got a bunch of quadratics here, and they want to know which ones have no solutions. Really what they're saying is b squared minus 4ac needs to be, if you have no solutions, it needs to be less than 0. That's really what they're trying to give you a hint on. So either you have to multiply them all out to get them in quadratic, so you have a, b, and c, Like I can't find a, b, and c in this one yet. Or there's another way you could prove that the thing does not have any solutions, and that would be to sketch them. They all said y equals. So they're all equations you could graph. So let me just show you how fast it is to graph something like that. If I just need a sketch to kind of prove that it's got solutions or not, look, this one goes 4 to the right, up 5, and then it's a U shape. Would this have any solutions? 4 to the left. Good point. Thank you. Sorry. 4 to the left and up 5. Would this have any solutions? No. And that'd be a good enough example. Like you showed me this sketch, I'd be like, yep, you knew that there was no solutions. So that was how you could have done that. Sketch them. Or do b squared minus 4ac and show me that it comes out less than 0. This one I would have sketched. 3 to the right, down 1. And now if it goes up right now, it would have solutions. But no, it's a negative in the front, so it's like that. So again, no solutions for that one. So you can sketch them. That's a way to prove there's no solutions. All right. But the key really, if they say, I want it to have one solution, I'm really saying b squared minus 4ac. All right, I want you to take a second and write down those 3 cases. If the discriminant is bigger than 0, what happens? Less than 0, what happens? Equal to 0, what happens? What are those 3 things for the discriminant? If it's less than 0, shoot, that has no solutions. If it's greater than 0, there's 2 solutions. And if it's equal to 0, there's one solution. And it's the vertex, by the way. Anytime there's just one solution, it has to be the vertex. Because if you look at how they look, and they have only one solution, that means they touched right there, and that must be the vertex. All right. If there was one skill that happened more than anything else, I think, it was this kind of thing. We're not even going to do it all, but can you cancel those 4s? Can you or not? No, you cannot. So, let's just do a little bit of it. This part right here, I'd make 3 square roots out of it. -1 and 4 and 2. And that makes 2i root 2. Then my question is, can you do the factoring part? Because if you can, then that's good enough for me. Not that you'd want to leave it that way on the test, but if you can factor this, I know you'll get it right. Two comes out, and I have 2 plus and minus I root 2 all over 4. So you can see the 4s did not cancel. A 2 will end up canceling. I'll just finish it. Those 2's cancel, and there'd be your answer. All right, that came up multiple times on the test. There was only one time where you really had to use the calculator. And that was on that question about the application, quadratic application question. Okay, so there's some review. That's kind of some of the most important stuff from this chapter. And I'm going to give you your tests back and have you get some time to do corrections on those tests. And that's all I got for you for today.